Hi my people, welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is of course Dennis Duke. I hope you're all doing fine. Yeah, I hope you're all doing fine. So I'm here to talk about my Somalia experience. I hope you're all doing fine. And so I'm here to talk about, and I want you to ask Somalia a couple of questions just in case you have. So I'll be talking to you. I went to Somalia a couple of some time back, and well, it was an amazing opportunity for me. And well, for those of you who don't know, Somalia is just a country located in Africa. Yeah, I wouldn't want to say it's in East Africa, but it's in Africa. It has had, well, civil war for over years now, and well, what we all know about Somalia is the country is struggling with trying to restore peace and sanity in the country. So it's not really. So I'll be just sharing with you my experience, how I went to Somalia. So I'll be waiting for some of your questions, just in case you have any. As I wait for your questions, Somalia, before you go to Somalia, you have to get a passport. Of course, it's within the region. You have to get a passport. You have to get yellow card fever, because one, you're going to pass through Kenya, but also you're supposed to apply for visa. Yes, you have to apply for visa, and but before all that, you must of course get some money. You must have some dollars. Now for Uganda, it's a little bit difficult because you don't go straight to Somalia. You first have to go to Kenya, and then from Kenya you then board to Somalia. Now this is where people go wrong. They think that Uganda has a direct flight to Somalia. So it was a one-day. It was actually a 4-day trip. I had the opportunity of going to Somalia, and Somalia is quite a beautiful country, for those of you who do not know. But just that the war has actually destroyed most of the things in the country. People are living not so good life. Bogende, Somalia, the life is a little bit different from the one I know of in Uganda. And well, abantu boba togenda ngayo oyinza ogamba oba ensi eri bitya. You know, when you read in the newspapers and you watch on TV or you hear on radio, life there is a little bit different and a little bit difficult if you've not been there. So one of the things you should be aware when you're traveling to Somalia, well, for us it was an AMISOM kind of arrangement, but it's not a peaceful country, as many of you know. There is fighting almost in every part of the country. But the beautiful part about it is the beautiful Indian Ocean. If you happen to go to the Indian Ocean, actually Somalia has the longest part of the Indian Ocean. So for them, if this country had peace, I think Somalia would be one of the richest countries on the continent. It would have the biggest tourism force in the region because of the Indian Ocean. So peace is only in Mogadishu, the capital city. But when you go to regions like Serjar region in Marak division or Marak district, there is not peace at all. So what happened was, we were under the protection of the AMISOM, the United Force. Of course, this is a force that is comprised of all the East African countries. We have Kenya, we have Uganda, we have Tanzania, we have Rwanda, we have Burundi, and so many others, so many other peacekeepers in the region. So just to let you know, this is my first live stream at home. I've never done a live stream, so just in case you see anything not so good, just know I'm trying to have it tested, but I'll improve as time goes on. But I just needed and felt like I needed to share with you my Somalia experience. So I would invite some questions if you have any. If you do not have, I'll continue with my live chat. I just wanted to take you away from Uganda, the Bobby Wine saga, the Besigye saga, to take you around Somalia. I'll be now uploading a video later on in the day, just to, you know, accompany this particular live stream. But thank you so much for always subscribing, liking my comment. I really appreciate, and I must commend you for all the good work that you do, commenting, sharing my content. Thank you so much. Now, one thing about Somalia that I had forgotten is it is comprised of different tribes. Now, what keeps bringing about the war in the country is because different tribes want to rule the nation. So, despite the fact that the peacekeepers have done their work, the tribes within Somalia continue to fight amongst themselves. So you realize, and it's actually very difficult to recognize that this is a Somali or this is not. You get, because they look alike. So the fact that they look alike, it's a little bit difficult for you to actually differentiate between, now, which tribe is this, which tribe is the other, because they look alike. And also, it is very hard to deal with the Al-Shabaab because people look alike. You get it. So it's a little bit difficult for you to differentiate. Some of the challenges that the army, of course, I had an opportunity to interact with the army. They told me Bawatega landmines. So on the route, for example, if you're using Mukono route to go and access food, probably from within town, batega landmines mukubo nga zibwatuka. So bwe zibwatuka zikola ki? Zibeera zitta abantu. Naye ekyatuyamba ffe nga abanamawulire oba abantu abali bagenze okucoveringa, it was a worthwhile trip. Naye twali under military protection, under the army. And so if you're watching, please continue sending in your feedback. If you have any question regarding because all the buildings have actually been destroyed. Now, I'll be reading to you some of the things that I wrote about Somalia in a couple of minutes. Just now, situation in Somalia. You know, I did a couple of stories about the situation in Somalia, and I received awards, I received stuff. So, just in case, so the African peacekeepers in Somalia have been hailed for bringing peace in Somalia after they're already struggling to reverse the effects of the war. Now, the African keepers of Somalis. So, the new approach, of course, this is an approach like they sit with people, they talk to them, they tell them about how peace is important. But also, the new approach involves reaching out to clan heads and ordinary citizens to challenge dominant Al-Shabaab propaganda that AMISOM troops are infidels, of course, to be hosted. Now, according to one of the lieutenants that I talked to, operating in such an area has, of course, been a little bit difficult. So, there's a lot of propaganda which cannot work anymore because they've started engaging with the communities. Now, the UPDF has tried to drive the militants or the militia groups out of the capital Mogadishu and are alongside the troops, of course, with the contribution of the Burundi army, the Djibouti, Ethiopia, and Kenya. So some security lapses have resulted in the deadly attacks by the militias or the militants. But of course, what the AMISOM is now doing is trying as much as it can to actually restore peace by training the locals. Catherine from Uganda is asking, why go to Somalia? They refused Wodemaya. I don't know why they refused Wodemaya. According to me, I think they don't just refuse somebody from going to Somalia. But when you have the right documents, say for example, you have your visa, you have your passport, you have your, for example, for the case of Uganda, you must have a yellow fever card, but also you must have a few dollars with you just to pay for the visa once you arrive at the airport. Well, usually at the airport it's a little bit difficult because baberachi abantu obera tobamanyi olulimi biki so ebintu webityo bibeera bikola ki byebiremesa abantu okugenda e Somalia. But to be honest, if you went to Somalia, the weather is a little bit different. Nti obudde bwabwe bucha sawa 10 by sawa 11 ez'okumacha zibeeranga wano onalaba sawa 3 nti obudde bubeera bukedde, like olabira ddala nti enjuba evuddeyo, omusana gubeerera ddala nga gwokya. So ebintu bingi ebikola ki ebihappeninga mu Somalia. Mpozi n'ekirala obudde buba buziba sawa 11 wabeeranga sawa 1 oba 2 oba 3 ezawano ku ekiro. So, but it's a very beautiful country with beautiful people. Only if the war could stop, if only the war could stop, if only they could, the peacekeepers could do something and try to end the war. Of course, the war, the AMISOM has started taking away the army, according to UN and some other bodies. They want the AMISOM out of the country by at least 2020, which is next year. So really it's not gonna be an easy one. So the fighting in Somalia, coupled with drought, has left about 2 million people displaced, and many still face sexual violence. The city center Mogadishu, although relatively peaceful and secure, the military operations by Somali government forces, militia and other foreign forces have resulted in too many civilian deaths and injuries. So the Al-Shabaab is a terrorist group affiliated to the Al-Qaeda and has been responsible for many other terror attacks in the country, a reason why the AMISOM troop was created. So however, despite its peace and security initiative, it's now time for it to pull out of Somalia. So the AMISOM, which is comprised of Uganda, Kenya, Burundi, Somalia, Djibouti, Sierra Leone, was created in 2007 and has registered notable achievements in peacekeeping. Now, so peace and security, although limited to a few places in Somalia like Mogadishu, AMISOM camps, moving away just 1 kilometer from these areas, one is not sure of another day, because these Al-Shabaabs are just displaced all over the country, and the fact that they are within the country and they are trying to fight for what they believe in, it's very difficult to deal with them. So amidst all this, the struggle to restore peace in Somalia, the AMISOM forces, of course, like I told you earlier, is faced with a couple of challenges that range from bad roads, inadequate facilities, explosive devices, among others. So the AMISOM contingent says that much as the transition process is ongoing, the Somali National Army, and the local police are not yet ready to take full control. So he says that they need to be urgently equipped with necessary weapons, key logistical support, provision of quality medical care, establishment of key infrastructure including barracks and training centers, among others. So last year in November, that was in 2017 I think, AMISOM withdrew about 1,000 of the 22,000 fighters from Somalia, and all foreign peacekeepers are expected to have withdrawn by the end of 2020. So by the end of 2020, which is next year, over the 22,000 AMISOM soldiers must have left Somalia. Now imagine a country that has struggled for over years in restoring peace and to suddenly have no peace. It's gonna be a tough one for them. Yeah, it's gonna be a tough one for them. I'm still taking more questions just in case you have any. Yeah, before I actually go off, if you have any question, you can just let me fire it and I'll definitely answer your question. But if you do not have any, I'd love to end here. My name is Dennis Duke. Thank you so much for watching. Continue subscribing, continue liking, sharing my content, and have a lovely evening, or lovely morning, or lovely afternoon, from wherever you're watching from. My name is Dennis Duke. Thank you. Until then, it's a goodbye from